what is the goal with natural stone lifting? So for me, mucking around with natural stones is simply something that I just enjoy. Um, it's a very unique, style of functional strength, and it really does carry across into everyday life. As opposed to traditional deadlifts or sumo deadlifts, you've got a bar, you can set everything up perfect. Natural stones, you do not have that luxury. From your grip, your grip can be anywhere and everywhere. It's up to you to find, the handholds where you can grip. Is your grip going to give out? Are you going to have to put yourself, in a more compromised position where, you can use more arms to pull the stone up into you as opposed to just having a solid grip. And then it comes to also center of gravity. When I lift this off the ground, is it going to rock, forward? Is it going to fall back? Is it going to go, left or right? They're all things you need to, weigh up and then assess. And then on top of that, you just need to brace. Um, so it's a really functional test of strength. And it also goes back, many cultures have had natural stone lifting as a test of strength. And it's just, something that I've found I've enjoyed, and it's helped my traditional lifts as well. People, make comments, does it ever hurt your back? Things like that. For me, no, simply because I've learnt how to brace, but the thing that gives out for me beforehand is generally going to be grip and just trying to find the right handhold. It's hard for me to put my lower back in a position where it's going to get injured before something else gives out. If I was leaning really far forward, say for instance on a back squat, yeah, you're going to hurt your lower back. But if you're in that exact same position, leant really far forward, your grip's going to have given out first, or you're going to have lost the stone forward. It's very hard, and with this lift that I'm doing, squats with the blue stone, the legs did not give out, and nor did my back. It was simply heart, lungs, forearms, and biceps. Upper back gets worked really thoroughly, and that is another point. When I'm lifting natural stones, you're working pretty much everything at once. From your grip all the way down to your calves, ankles, everything else for stability under load. Especially when you're squatting, to be able to hit and sit in a deep squat position, you need the mobility and stability to do that. And then on top of that, you've got to have the upper back strength, mid back strength, everything else. To hold the stone and keep it pulled into you. The only thing that I find that probably wouldn't get worked a lot is triceps and anterior delts. That's probably it for me. When I'm doing this, quads work, hamstrings work, glutes work, calves work. The whole of my core, my grip, my biceps, upper back, you name it. All of that's working. So yeah, I find it really functional in that regard. And simply because you engage such a high amount of muscle mass, the energy toll is it skyrockets. You burn through a whole lot of calories really quite quickly, and you get a really good conditioning effect from it as well. I find that it doesn't hit my nervous system really hard because I don't have to grind the reps out under an extremely heavy load that's only hitting a few muscle groups sort of in an unnatural way. You think of like really, really heavy back squats or deadlifts, you've got a bar that you can grip perfectly onto versus in nature, I highly doubt you're going to find anything, that's going to, have that same sort of, feel and, positioning wise, you can set up perfectly. With natural stones, you just can't seem to get everything, perfectly lined up like that. So it limits the amount of weight you can use. So yeah, I find for me CNS burnout's not a thing. I found, as I said, heart and lungs conditioning wise, high rep gives out. And then the next day, yeah, you can tell that you've worked everything really quite thoroughly. For me, long term wise with, this bluestone block, I'd like to ideally work up to 20 reps. And with the other big stone that weighs 150.3 kilos, I want to work up to, I've already done one set of 10, but I'd like to hit 4 sets of 10 in a training session without, thinking to myself, this is going to be an extremely hard, heavy session. Um, So yeah, best I've done is 10. That was, I think, at the start of this video, because I've put the most recent videos first. But yeah, over the time I've got stronger. I used to remember when this was a real battle just to get it up to, chest height to, from ground squatted up. Now it's comfortable. I can walk into the garage pretty much any day of the week and know that I'm going to knock out a few reps of it. At worst, I know I can always lift it. So, functional strength has come a long way. And the other goal, with this stone, I'd like to eventually put it up onto my shoulder. But I think in order to do that, I'm probably going to have to squat it up. And I don't have the front squat strength yet. In order to do that, like I can front squat 180 kilos for 8s now, no hands, but I'm probably going to have to crack that 10 rep mark and then focus on a few really heavy singles in order to get that up. And it will just, come down to playing with a natural stone, trying to get that movement pattern as clean and as efficient as I can, while at the same time knowing, every time I play around with a natural stone, I can never quite get it exactly where I want, because you're wrestling, with a huge piece of weight that wants to go in any and every direction. So yeah, slight shift in body weight equals, the stone wanting to travel in a different direction, depending what's sore that day, from previous training sessions, just muscle DOMs and the rest of it, equals new battle. The other thing I really like about natural stones, they're either free or you can get them ridiculously cheap. So for me, I got mine from a landscaping place. With the exception of this blue stone, I got that from a mate's backyard. It was actually his dad's backyard. And the other big stone, I actually got that from a person at work from their garden, because they wanted them all stripped out. So they still got quite a few left, and there was some that I have no chance at shifting. But yeah, all the other ones I've just got from the landscaping place. It gives you heaps of different options. So yeah, that's just my take. So hopefully you enjoy.